up, Colliders? It's the kid JW here. That's Miss Diva Talks.
Sup, y'all?
And y'all know me. I love food, mostly decent types of foods. So this is gonna be a very good one. This is coming from weird history food. Hopefully there's some tacos or some Chinese in there because I'm hungry. So you want to take
You're
it away?
always hungry.
I know. So you want to take us into this wonderful delicacy meal?
Yes, yes, I do.
From Happy Meal toys to cuddly mascots to French fried goodness, the fast food experience is often geared towards children, for better or worse. But few restaurant goodies have ever...
I literally was just talking about this, how we passed that McDonald's that's now closed. It still had the framework for a play place.
Mhm.
You see how McDonald's changed their design from being kid friendly to being more depressed adult. Because a lot of us millennials aren't having children.
And two, no one plays inside of restaurants no more.
I did. I even had a birthday party there. But
That was where special people took kids from.
whatever.
compared to the storied Playplaces, where any wildling could wedge themselves into a 3-story slide after cramming down a cheeseburger. So where did they all go? Well, today we're discussing the meteoric rise and lawsuit-riddled fall of restaurant Playplaces. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. After that, leave us a comment and let us know what other gimmicks of restaurants past you would like to hear about. All right, you sticky-fingered rugrats, let's dive into that ball pit.
Enough is enough. Time to go home.
Now, it's my home now.
Yes, because the ball pit was the best place to be.
I hated it. I loved it as a kid until I did not. There was some things that I saw.
I'm sure.
Although restaurant Playplaces have mostly gone extinct, there was a time when those tangled slides and brightly colored rubber mats were everywhere. Whether the local fast food joint was serving outdoor antics or indoor fun houses, most quick service restaurants came equipped with a place for kids to go nuts. So where did it all begin? Perhaps, unsurprisingly, these fun zones were first implemented by the golden-arched titan known as McDonald's. By the early 70s, McDonald's restaurants had certified themselves as a modern American mainstay. But despite their relative popularity, Wendy's absolutely dominated the market. Those square, sizzling patties were a major hit in the Wendy's heyday, and McDonald's needed a serious boost. To help bolster the appeal of Ronald, a McDonald's restaurant located in the small California town of Chula Vista, started a revolution in 1971. By adding a few slides and climbing bars to an enclosed outdoor alcove, the Chula Vista McDonald's increased their profits at an extremely high rate, and the effect was almost immediate.
Purpose saw that was like this. Oh, more money? Add some slides and stuff just to help out.
As a
Yep.
wise old baseball ghost once said,
If you build it, they will come.
and a local family soon flocked to the colorful new additions to their favorite fast food spot. With its rudimentary outdoor jungle gym and some clever theming, this West Coast location became the grandfather of the modern Playplace. Take that, Wendy's.
It's cool.
The year after Chula Vista's Playplace prototype debuted, McDonald's executives took note of the added value to customers and their children. With such high results and relatively low cost, Ronald and the gang decided to up their game. In 1972, the official line of McDonald's Playplaces appeared at the 1972 Illinois State Fair. In the city of Chicago and its surrounding suburbs, these outdoor recreation areas sprouted up everywhere, with eerie, large-scale character statues, rickety metal amusements, and a literal grimace jail. These early Playplaces didn't really resemble the plastic wonderlands that would come to fruit in the following decades. But at the time, even these slightly grim offerings were a huge hit for kids in the Windy City. Though the infamous Big Mac climbing bars look archaic now, they were once wildly popular. Hey, this was a long time before every kid had a literal Nintendo in their pocket.
I've been playing this 72 hours straight.
So a playground with a 7-foot Hamburglar statue was the next best thing. Despite aesthetic growing pains, McDonald's Playplaces thrived on the East Coast, and before long, franchisees in other states began ordering construction of their own. In just a matter of a few short years, grimace jails spread across the nation. The bad kids need a place to play too. Under the neon gleam of the 80s, McDonald's began to thrive. Despite trailing the lead in the previous decade, customers served beneath the golden arches were rising, and with family-centric tactics and mascot-heavy appeal, they soon took the fast food crown. While many competitors scrambled to make way for wealthier, hungrier customers, McDonald's focused on children first. As Playplaces evolved from vaguely creepy statues into brighter,
They focus with the children because that's how they started seeing hella profit.
Well, it's always that's why I always say if you have a business, always do something to target your children because parents will spend whatever money they have to make sure their kids get something.
Not in this day and age. This is 2024. They don't do that no more.
You go to Walmart or Best Buy and
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. Okay.
You see Amazon be still packed on delivering stuff.
Right.
happier playgrounds, their customer base swelled. Franchise fast food restaurants have a long history of copycats and quick cash grabs. So it's genuinely surprising that so few of McDonald's competitors built themed playplaces of their own. From trying to outshake each other every holiday season to an eternal competition for bigger and better burgers, most quick service joints were shockingly slow to grab those red and yellow coattails. In fact, it wasn't until the implementation of plastic tubes and interior spaces that other restaurants got the memo. In 1989, two Kansas City entrepreneurs opened the very first Discovery Zone. With it,
That's where I grew up at.
Of course.
My parents took me there, mind you, my dad took me there for my birthday. It was a Discovery Zone, I want to say on this side of town, Livonia. And we went as a kid. I went as a kid. I remember going in there, climbing through the little tubes, things, jumping to the moss ball of balls, and just
Ball pit.
ball pit and having a grand old time. You know, just bouncing around, playing around, and having cake delivered and whatnot, man. It's like,
I did the same thing at McDonald's.
oh,
Thank
this
you.
was whole better because they had pizza,
Whatever.
cakes, and stuff.
its rainbow-colored setting, big thrills for daredevil tykes, and an emphasis on physical play, the Discovery Zone was a regional hit. And when Discovery Zones began popping up around America, a certain red-haired clown took notice. In 1991, McDonald's opened their first Leaps and Bounds location, featuring an enormous maze of bright plastic tubing, a few arcade games, and party-sized foods like pizzas and cakes. McDonald's brought the Playplace indoors, and much like their Discovery Zone competitors, Leaps and Bounds housed the first mainstream ball pits. Although both SeaWorld and IKEA both claim to be the originators of the ball pit, once Ronald got his gloves on the
Put it together
concept,
at
the
IKEA
idea
first.
became almost synonymous with McDonald's. Wait, were the IKEA ball pits filled with their meatballs? By the mid-90s, McDonald's merged with Discovery Zone, and the Leaps and Bounds locations slowly dissolved. With the Playplace competition out of the way, the fast food big shots turned their sights on reclaiming playgrounds. And with these new developments, freshly painted and primed indoor Playplaces took over. Featuring familiar tube mazes and ball pits, these indoor Playplaces offered families an opportunity to beat the heat and let the kids loose at the same time. And for those diners without children, these new Playplaces were separated by a thick wall of glass, just enough to keep the screams to a dull thrum. With these new indoor structures, fast food competitors finally took note. Everyone from Taco Bell to Wendy's added indoor playgrounds to their kid-centric locations. And all of them took serious inspiration from the McDonald's Discovery Zone hybrid. But unlike McDonald's, these competing chains were not nearly as focused on their youngest customers, with fewer Playplaces overall and less emphasis on kid-friendly theming. Ronald still reigned supreme. As kid-friendly attitudes rose among restaurants, so too did the need for bigger and better ideas. With the introduction of children's meals, parents of picky eaters soon had more than just playgrounds to look forward to. Although many fast food chains began offering toys and smaller portions, it was once again McDonald's that led the pack with their hit Happy Meals.
Your kids will love McDonald's Happy Meal.
McDonald's also cemented themselves as the masters of children's birthday parties during the 80s and 90s, as seen in the film Mac and Me. With their classic
Never do that.
Thank you.
Never do that.
Finally.
Never do that. Discovery's on Jeepers over here.
birthday cakes and themed party rooms, many parents found a fun, affordable option for their kids' big day.
Yes.
You had to bring
That was the exact room I had.
our own alien, though.
We know.
Not even Mayor McCheese can stop the flow of time. So these parent traps had to constantly evolve to stay competitive. As video games continued to surge in popularity, restaurants decided it was time to score that coinage. Although arcades had been popularized in the previous decades, high chains like Pizza Hut began keeping small game rooms to entice kids and their parents. What could be better than snagging a couple quarters from
Back when Pizza Hut had a whole dining area for you to go in and eat at
Yeah.
with a buffet.
Salad bar was nice.
Exactly. There's still one left though.
to hit the T2 machine while Mom orders a large pepperoni. Taking things even further, Chi-Chi's Pizza and regional chains like Mr. Gatti's added large-scale arcades to their restaurants. These darkened pizza halls were a favorite for parents with kids too old to hit the ball pit, but not yet old enough to sit politely at the table. Although they had been around since the 80s, a particular brand of kid-specific pizza parlors truly broke into the mainstream during this time. Whether you're a fan of the classic Showbiz Band, or if you grew up on Big Chuck himself, animatronic pizza shows became an American hit. With full-sized dancing and singing robots, pizza shows often went down right outside of indoor play places. In fact, Chuck E. Cheese locations are often cited as the originators of the classic sky tubes. This offered kids a chance to crawl across the ceiling and peer down from a bubble window to catch Munch and the band, and maybe drop a drink on them. Meanwhile, McDonald's incorporated video game systems like the Nintendo 64 into some of their play places in the 90s. They even got an animatronic show of their own, although it inexplicably starred the moon-headed mascot Mac Tonight, and even more inexplicably was meant for adults. We imagine most families hurried past Mac Tonight on their way to the ball pit, struggling to avoid eye contact.
Tell me when it hurts. It hurt from the beginning!
Like any good old-fashioned trend, the restaurant Playplace fad eventually tapered off. Because, it turns out, Playplaces had a sinister edge, more menacing than a grimace jail. As children's safety became a focal point for American society in the late 90s, the consumer...
Keep in mind that nobody gave a fuck about them kids before then.
Oh no.
Now we worried about safety.
90s, and then like we said on a previous episode here, 90s is when people really started caring about,
Exactly.
safety and what. Pre-90s, nobody batted it down.
Consumer Product Safety Commission discovered a startling truth. Over 30 years, 400 children were injured on the Big Mac climbing bars. And to add insult to those injuries, McDonald's allegedly covered up the majority of those incidents. This resulted in the largest fine ever paid by a company to the CPSC. Around this time, an advocate for children's health named Dr. Aaron Carr Jordan took swab samples in 50 Playplace locations across the country. According to Dr. Carr's findings, all but one of those playgrounds carried bacteria that was potentially harmful to kids. When these findings hit the news, parents and advocacy groups were horrified. This led to a period...
You know what I'm about to say, right?
Nah.
It only took one.
But this is why my parents never took me to they stopped taking me to McDonald's play places and Discovery Zones. It was just nasty in there.
Because it only took one. I mean, of course it was going to get at some point. Yeah, obviously.
But then we started going to Jeepers, and Jeepers was safer. Had the roller coaster.
Yeah, that was safer.
It was.
Period where many rumors and exaggerations mixed with truth to create a slurry of gross-out stories and over-the-top myths. As rumors and hard facts swirled, indoor play places took the hardest hit. Lawsuits ensued, and soon fewer play places could be found. Ball pits in particular.
Because Chuck E. Cheese doesn't even have the ball pit or the sky tubes and stuff like that anymore. It's all just floor games now.
Well, yeah, that's what matters. You can get more money off of
that. Exactly.
Source of ire for news reports and shocking discoveries. Despite the fond feelings of nostalgia many of us had for these childhood relics, ball pits eventually disappeared.
The baby's look unhappy.
Add more balls.
It's my kind of energy.
Yep, hi my boss.
Playplaces staggered along through the early aughts in the wake of all the controversy and as portable video game systems became more common. But during the COVID-19 pandemic, things truly came to a grinding halt. Any surviving indoor playplaces were ordered closed, and many even shied away from outdoor playplaces as well. But eventually, time healed some of these wounds and anxieties, and parents soon found themselves in need of a place to let their cooped-up kids run free. Although a handful of indoor
I have no idea what
playplaces
you said. All I
reopened
heard
in
was
late
open.
20...
I heard nothing but noise. Sheesh, yeah, you
2022,
need to be in
many
a play
restaurant
place.
owners adopted outdoor areas instead. Today, you can visit a Burger King in some small suburban town and catch a glimpse of a play place. And occasionally, you can even still find the classic McDonald's play place of yesteryear. But these modern play places are generally heavily padded, open air, and free of any death-defying structures like the Big Mac bars. They presumably still have the grimace jails, though. So what do you think?
How are you like this? The piece of my childhood.
Yeah, like so them Big Mac bars. We had those at school.
Yeah, we did.
They wasn't Big Mac bars. They was like spaceships though,
Yeah.
because 60s like spaceships. So they was like spaceship then. And honestly, I used to love playing inside that thing. It was easy to, was just hard climbing out though. But you got in there, it was fun. Um, but yeah, childhood and whatnot. But also at the same exact time, I get it because it's nasty. That's when we stopped going. When we saw like a dirty,
Well, yeah, you got kids
it's like
going up in there doing God knows
it's like a
what,
dirty diaper in there
picking
when we
their
started.
noses and, you know, yeah, eventually that was going to happen.
I told my mom when I saw him, I was like, ew, it's a dirty diaper. And her mom was like, nope. So we ain't never been back since. Well,
I'm sure.
but yeah.
As always, Colliders, if you enjoyed this reaction, go ahead and hit the like button. Share with someone you think would like it as well. If you're not already Collider, I know why you're not. Subscribing is free. If you want to catch this YouTuber's YouTube channel or this video for yourself, the links to both of those will be in the description below, along with where you can find me and if it's JW on our own YouTube platforms. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Bye, y'all.
Later.